About 7 years ago, I made a really bad decision. And it was a decision that came from a really good intention. You know, I was going to get fit and I was training with this guy. He was a martial artist and he said, I'll share my conditioning program with you. We'll do it together. So I started doing this thing and it involved one element, which was just way beyond me, which was doing press ups on my fists. Can you believe it? At 44, going from not very fit to trying to do press ups on my fist. Very bad decision. Why am I telling you this? It's because it's such a great example of trying to solve the wrong problem. And we do this across our lives. And I'm going to give you later the one big way that we get it wrong. But for now, if we look at this ego-based attempt to get fit, and that's the key, really. It comes from this egoic desperation to get fit. That actually put me into this mindset of trying to do things I just wasn't able to do, ready to do. And it created this space where I injured myself. And 6, 7 years later, it's only last week that I actually eventually solved this. Finally got to what I needed to do to actually make it feel okay again. So this solving of the wrong problem, it can come from the sort of ego place that I mentioned, and it can also come from our trigger states. These are the states we go into when something has knocked us off balance, irritated us, and effectively got our threat system activated. And it can happen very, very easily throughout our day. It can happen dozens of times, hundreds of times even. Something small, an email coming in, something we don't like, not hearing a response from somebody when we're expecting it. All of these things can elicit these triggered states. And when that happens, our higher brain function goes offline, sometimes by a little, sometimes in a real hijack, in a big hijack, by a lot. So what we're doing in those moments when we're hijacked, no matter how big or small it is, when we're hijacked, we're trying to solve a problem in our life, but we're doing it without that resource of our higher brain function. And in fact, we're doing it from a level of thinking which very often will have created the problem. What do I mean by that? Very often we'll be antagonistic with somebody because we have been feeling threatened. We've got defensive. There may not even be a threat there that we actually have to engage with, but because we've been triggered, we're trying to solve that problem of a threat when we're actually the ones who've created it. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't situations where we are truly threatened and need to be in that state, but there are a lot of situations where we haven't been. So what can we do about this? Well, the first piece is obviously education. If we don't know that we move into these states, these different states throughout our day, triggered states, if we don't know that actually, because of the way our nervous system is designed, there's nothing we can do about it, then we can actually make a real misdiagnosis of ourselves and think it's something wrong with us. It's not. This is how we're designed. We're designed to react in this way and have these triggers take place, the conditioning come up. It's a survival thing. We are designed to do that. So with education, we can understand that actually it's not my fault. And we can redirect the energy that's gone against us, that we've been using against us in self-criticism, to actually focus on the part that we can do. And that is attend to the trigger in a way that has some kindness to it. So that education piece gives us the possibility that we can engage with our trigger in a different way. We also need the awareness to know that it's happening while it's happening. No good studying it and then getting triggered and acting it out. We need to actually develop the skill to recognize in the moment that we've been triggered and apply the right remedy.